So today I want to show you guys why I find Chinese astrology, the 4 pillars of destiny, so fascinating. Because it can outline a life path in a way that it feels just so accurate for a person. And I do it through a case study. Steven Bartlett, the podcaster of The Diary of a CEO, a young man with this striking empathy and this emotional maturity. So what influenced me the most is the empathy I feel from him in his conversations. He speaks with ease, so much ease about vulnerability, mental health, sexuality, menopause, like topics that many people can only face much later in their life. And when I looked at his chart, I had that real aha moment. It would be fascinating to see how this BaZi reflects the life path. One note, I couldn't find his birth hour, so the hour pillar is missing, but the rest still speaks loudly. So what is BaZi in 1 minute? BaZi is built from your birth year, month, day, and hour. So these are the 4 pillars, and it shows your energetic blueprint, your strengths, challenges, and the rhythm of your life through the 10-year luck pillars. To read it, we start from the year pillar, the outer world, your childhood, and how the world first perceives you and how you perceive the outer world in your life. So this is the place where we investigate your childhood traumas, your experiences that are actually your roots. And this is the outer layer of Steven, what people sense right away when they look at him, when they meet him. Yang water is like the ocean, curious, deep, questioning, able to influence others like a current or a wave of an ocean. It dives into taboo topics because water always finds a way. Yang water people get on well with everybody. In my analysis, this pillar connects with the 7th hexagram. The theme around it is the direction and virtue, authority, leadership through discipline and service. It carries a very strong independence through challenge signature. 7K is always a hardship, obstacle, difficulty first when we look into a chart. So in Steven's childhood, this often shows a need to grow up early, facing struggles, scarcity, obstacles, and later in his life, in a more mature state, it can develop into a heart-centered leadership. So become a leader with a heart and by showing example. Monkey is quick-minded, has a genius mind to solve problems, a very fast thinker and learns easy. Let's look at the first luck pillar of Steven. It is in the age of 4 until 14. This is the Yin Earth Rooster. In the I Ching hexagram, we call it the Wanderer. Yin Earth, just think about it. It's a fertile soil, supportive, moldable, learning to adapt. And in Steven's early childhood, he was searching for stability, learning humility, flexibility, and was forced to build an inner sense of being home. Because Steven mentioned living in a house with a broken window for like 15 years, while families around that area had very nice homes. And this contrast reflects this layer of scarcity he had to experience and the adaptation to these difficulties. And the core lesson here in this luck pillar for him was to become rich, not only financially, but spiritually, emotionally, morally, and intellectually. Now let's look at the month pillar of Steven's chart, which is the Yang Earth Monkey. Well, the month pillar describes our young adulthood, career, and family dynamics. So young Earth is the mountains analogy. It is stable, showing outside that I am very, very stable, but it is an outside layer and it pushes inside and sometimes denies emotion. So here we see the indirect wealth structure, which gives a very strong entrepreneurial business drive and make a lot of money drive. This gives a personality who cannot stand being controlled by others. Rather, instead, he tends to become a control freak. Young Earth Monkey only commits to what feels authentic and honest. It has the theme of intimacy, how to become intimate, relationship with a carrier or a relationship. If something loses meaning, he must release it. This is the rule for this pillar. That's why leaving university makes sense energetically. Indirect wealth is impatient, fast, has no time for years to study on university. So it makes sense. The intensity factor here, the 7K structure, gives ambition and magnetic force and a will to fight for a cause, and a very strong carrier peak marker. 7K is the energy from the zero to hero, really from nobody to a CEO. And now let's jump to the core personality, the day pillar, the Yang Wood dog pillar. This is the provoking and the triggering energy. And now we really arrive to Steven's core personality. The day pillar is what we truly feel inside when all external circumstances fall away. The image of a Yang Wood is a mighty oak tree. It has the deep roots, a strong trunk. It is constantly growing towards the light. It is highly creative and it has wide social contacts. Yang Wood people protect others around them. It is like a tree giving shade in the storm to others. They are very direct and principled, and they are very morally driven people. But here comes the deeper layer. The dog energy carries those hidden fears. Dog is always linked to fears, emotional wars, unspoken tension. The dog's mountain analogy hides many secrets and fears inside, what you can not know about. So that's why relationships for Steven act as mirrors. They trigger his growth, they provoke his awakening, they push him beyond this emotional armor he has. And Yang Wood does not bend easily. It is a stable tree, and it prefers to stand tall, and that creates strength, but also relational tension until his emotional flexibility develops. And this pillar becomes even more activated around the age of 35, which means his deepest self-identity evolution is still unfolding in these days. Let's jump to the second and the third luck pillar. Just quick notes really about them. The second luck pillar begins at the age of 14 and lasts until 24. It is the Yang Metal Dog pillar, the stagnation period. It is like when Steven's identity was forged. Literally, this is the my way or the highway decade for Steven, a very strong willpower, resistance to being shaped by other people's systems like school system. It links to the hexagram 12 in the I Ching, which is the stagnation. So it is a very slow progress. It is so slow that it's embarrassingly slow, feels like blockages, full of frustration, but it is indeed the time for Steven for refinement. Yang metal is like a sharp sword. It cuts away what doesn't belong to Steven. So this is the decade that forges Steven's identity. He later becomes known for, even if it was very painful for him. This was a learning phase. The third luck pillar was from his age of 24 until 33. This is the Yin Metal Pig. It is when empathy becomes visible, and now this decade explains much of what we see from Steven today. It is from 2016 until 2025. I love this metaphor here. The yin metal is the diamond. the red carpet energy for Steven. This is when visibility, refinement, authority through work and his success becomes visible. And the pig is the most emotional and empathetic sign through the zodiacs, which matches the emotional intelligence we feel in his conversations. So this is exactly the decade of his public milestones, like let's say about social chain growth and going public, stepping down as CEO at his age of 27, building the Diary of a CEO podcast, and he is a best-selling book author, and he was playing at Dragon's Den, and we can mention about his investments, expansion, community building. So in the I Ching terms, this third luck pillar is linked to holding together. It is the unity, the team, people gathering around Steven's companies and around a shared purpose and goal. This is where the strong walls softens and empathy becomes in these times a real strength for Steven, not a weakness. And what's his next luck pillar? Well, that is Yang Water Red Pillar. But what Yang Water Red Pillar refers to as regards his personality and as regards his life path, Steven has just switched into this new luck pillar. And in times like this, new life cycles begin with unknown new tasks. You can read the detailed analysis in my blog. I put the link in the description box below. And if you liked how Chinese astrology can show a person's life path, personality layers, you can easily get your personalized ebook. You will find all the details in the description below. Just click the link. Thank you, and until next time.